Hey, what's up guys? Tony Hannity's here from Lazy Tech TV, and I know I already have a video for the first impressions of the brand new Google Nexus. I know I already have a video for the first impressions for the brand new Google Pixel XL, and you can take a look at that via the link in the description below. But I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive into the Pixel launcher. Now, there's been some news outlets reporting that the Pixel launcher may be released to non-Pixel devices, which is exciting. But until that becomes official, you're going to either have to use Nova Launcher or some other third-party launcher to mimic the Pixel features, or just use the APK and install it unofficially, if you will. I don't know how I personally feel about that, but hey, I've got the Pixel here, so let's take a look at it. From the main screen, right away you'll notice that you have your G tab on the left and your weather and time on the right. So time is the same, but with the weather widget, that's something you can't move. So you're always gonna have weather, but when you tap into it, obviously it's gonna tell you weather of today, tomorrow, and the next 10 days. On the G tab, this is where your Google Now lives. You can get to this just by swiping to the right, and it's pretty much what we've had in the Google Now launcher before. I don't really know why you need a tab to get there. Avid Android users will know, especially if you have the Google Now launcher, that's where Google Now lives. But anyways, I guess that's for the first time Google Now users that aren't used to the Google Now tab. Now you may look at the front screen here and say, this is a lot of space that's not being used between the weather and the G tab. Well, remember in the Google Now launcher, the top bar was the Google search bar as well too. So there was space being taken up there too. Moving forward, the next big update is the long press. So long press functionalities add new opportunity for you to take action on certain applications. Before, long pressing on an app only allowed you to move it between the different pages, remove or uninstall. Now with certain apps like Maps, you can long press and it gives you general directions to either home or work. Now this is a new part of the API in which the developers are going to have to tap into, and Google themselves haven't actually tapped into all of them. So case in point, if you want to do it with the Google Inbox app, you can, but you can with Gmail. Next up is the app drawer. So the app drawer no longer is activated by just the one singular button. It's the whole bottom row. So anywhere in the bottom row that you swipe up, you're gonna get to the app drawer. Alphabetized, just as we've had before. You've got your search apps at the top. And one new cool feature, the calendar app. The date on the calendar app used to always be 31st, even with months that don't have 31 days. But now the calendar app will have the corresponding day, but the actual corresponding day. So it's the 23rd of October right now, and tomorrow it'll be the 24th, as it normally is. Next up, we have the notification shade. Notification shade hasn't changed a lot, but there are a few new things. So with the fingerprint reader, you can swipe down on the fingerprint reader and it actually brings up the notification shade. Why this is useful is maybe your left hand or right hand is busy doing something else, like holding a bag of pickles or something, and you just want to see your latest notifications, or you want to be able to quickly access your Wi-Fi connection or your Bluetooth connection to toggle it off or on. Now you can do that, at least just with a bottom swipe on the fingerprint reader. This only works with certain phones, obviously, with the fingerprint reader tapped into that API. Maybe they'll do it with other phones with other fingerprint readers, like even the front-facing ones, but I have no idea if that's going to be the case. But in the actual notification shade, there are two things that are fairly new. And it's not necessarily new to Android, just kind of vanilla Android. You have actionable capabilities. So within the notification shade, like as you can see here, AZ recorder, you can pause, stop, or draw. And that wasn't something you had the availability to do before. That's also tied into Android 7.1. So I'm not quite sure if that's a Pixel launcher feature or just Android feature, but either way, it's very useful, especially with text messages that come in. You don't have to go to the messaging app to respond. You can do it right from there. And then the other thing, nearby. Nearby is a new, well, not new to Android, but at least new to the notification shade, where that if you turn it on, your phone will notify you when you are nearby locations that accept things like Android Pay and give you other benefits and bonuses. If that's your sort of thing, then you can go ahead and turn it on with your GPS location. You'll be good to go. Otherwise, if you're like me, just go ahead and turn it off. Now, another new feature with the multitasking button is the ability to switch back and forth between two applications. This is very useful if you're going between two social networks or between something like Netflix and IMDb, or if you're like me, you're going between Pokemon Go and Ivy Calculator. So very easily, all you have to do is double tap the multitasking button and it just goes Pokemon Go, Ivy Calculator, Pokemon Go, Ivy Calculator. And so if you want to go between something like your inbox and the Chrome page, it's really the last two applications that you had opened up back to back. So it would be Inbox and Chrome. Now, if you want to be able to have two apps simultaneously opened next to each other, whether it be side by side or one atop each other, you're gonna once again go to the multitasking button, click on it, and hold down the app that you want on top of the multitasking window. Slide it up, and then all the other applications will drop down to the bottom. And voila, you've got two apps opened at the same time on the same screen. Now, this doesn't work with all apps. So case in point, I wanted Pokemon Go, and it says down here, app does not support multiple screens. So maybe, I doubt it, Niantic probably doesn't care about doing that, but it proves a point. It's not up to Google. It's not just something that's baked into Android. It's something that's dependent on the actual developer to implement that for their particular application. Having applications open side by side or one on top of the other, that's nothing new. We've seen Samsung do that for a number of years and it really hasn't caught on so well. Apple started doing that with their iPad and their iPhones. Again, hasn't really caught on. Multi-window is really a desktop thing, and maybe in the future we'll start to see a lot more use cases and a lot more better implementation with multi-window on mobile. But until then, I'm okay with just one app taking up the whole screen. And then the last thing. Again, this is actually not a Pixel launcher feature, so I actually might change the title of this video, but we'll see. In the actual settings of your phone, specifically the Pixel or the Pixel XL, you have your settings, but then next to it you have support. This gives you 24-hour support 7 days a week, even on all the major holidays. And you can call Google directly, or at least the company that represents them, and ask them questions specifically about the Pixel. Now, this isn't new. Amazon did it with Mayday. And while I can't specifically decide whether that's a success or a failure, it obviously didn't work out too well for the Fire phone, but I'm sure it's still available on the Kindle Fires and all the other tablets. But the concept is very similar to when you call something like Apple support or Microsoft support. They can take control of your screen, or at least over the phone, tell you how to fix something specific to the Pixel. If you want to order like a Google Home or have questions about your Google credits and your credit card on Google's YouTube Red, I don't know if they can deal with that specifically, but it says it's the Google support team, so they might support everything. And at least on this Pixel, you have the choice between doing phone or chat. Chat would be like an IM. Phone, you can actually just call them. So that's it. I know this phone's getting a lot of publicity these days, and I think that has to deal with the fact that this is Google's first phone that they designed inside and out. And the Galaxy Note 7 kind of went up in flames, so to speak. So people are really trying to figure out if this is the next best thing for them and for their money. I can't really say at this point. I've only had it for a few days. I mean, I like it, but every phone is really good for the first few days. So that's it for now. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, outbursts, let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to get to those as soon as possible. Make sure you're following us here on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. We're also on Instagram, Google+, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you want to follow me as well, you can find out the links below. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.